Best books to read before you die. Did you know that the typical person reads just about 12 books a year? The catch is that if you live to be 80 and begin reading at 20, that comes to only 720 books in a lifetime. Given the millions of books available, how do you select the ones that are really worth reading? Imagine strolling across a large library with seemingly limitless bookshelves, each offering an adventure, a lesson, or a trip to a world never known. With so many options, though, how do you decide which tales are the must-reads? Those that will permanently alter your soul. How can one locate those books that are not only excellent, but also absolutely indispensable? We're delving deeply into the world of literature in this video to find the books you really must read before you die. We will discuss why these tales matter, what makes them timeless, and how they have affected both readers and civilizations generally. And trust me, the last book on our list might unexpectedly catch you. Number 10. To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. Starting our list is Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird, a book more than just a classic in American literature. It's a strong commentary on race, morality, and the human condition. This book, set in the charged environment of the Deep South, is a thorough investigation of justice seen through the innocent eyes of a small child called Scout Finch. What, though, makes it a must-read? Not only is the narrative itself, but also how Lee skillfully incorporates difficult ideas into a narrative that is both approachable and profoundly poignant. This book reminds you of the need for empathy and understanding, even as it confronts the hard facts of society. Whether you're reading it for the first time or going back over it, To Kill a Mockingbird is a book you will find lingering long after the last page is turned. Number 9. 1984 by George Orwell. Have you ever discovered where the phrase "Big Brother is watching you" originates? That would be the dystopian masterwork of George Orwell, 1984. Published in 1949, Orwell's picture of an authoritarian future is shockingly contemporary. Orwell investigates issues of power, control, and the loss of uniqueness in a world where every action is watched over and every idea is regulated. Beyond its depressing depiction of a world gone bad, 1984's essential reading is its warning of what happens when freedom is given up in the name of security. This book asks you to consider the systems of power in place around you and question your view of reality. Orwell's point of view is unambiguous. Freedom comes with vigilance at its cost. Number 8. Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. Now, turning into the domain of classic romance, we have Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. Still, be not misled. This is not only a love story. It offers a clever and satirical analysis of morality, marriage, and social level in England in the 19th century. Elizabeth Bennet, the independent and sharp-tongued heroine, questions the conventions of her day as she negotiates the complexity of society and relationships. Why should you, though, read it? This book is ageless because of Austen's deft use of irony and sharp observations on human behaviour. Because of its universal subjects: love, family, and the search for happiness. This book never gets old. Moreover, who would not want to meet the mysterious Mr. Darcy? Number 7. The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. For good reason, F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby is sometimes considered the archetypal American book. Set in the Roaring Twenties, this story of riches, ambition, and unmet love vividly depicts the American dream, and its final disenchantment. Viewed through the eyes of the narrator, Nick Carraway, we see the sad rise and fall of Jay Gatsby, a man fixated on past love and the concept of personal reinventions. Why, though, is this book on our list? Fitzgerald's investigation of ambition, love, and the hollow search for happiness is as pertinent now as it was in the 1920s. This narrative reminds us that not all that glitters is gold and speaks to the core of the human experience. Number 6. Moby Dick by Herman Melville. Herman Melville's Moby Dick, a book as large and nuanced as the ocean itself, comes next on our trip through literary masterpieces. Fundamentally, it is the story of Captain Ahab's compulsive hunt for Moby Dick, the great white whale. Benevolently, though, it's far more. A philosophical investigation of obsession, revenge, and the unknowable forces of nature. Melville's ability to spin an epic in scope and an intensely reflective narrative make Moby Dick a must-read. This book asks you to consider the biggest secrets of life, to question and to think. Though the language can be dense at times, the benefit is a rich reading experience that few other books can provide. Number 5. 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Magical realism was first presented to the world via Gabriel Garcia Marquez's 100 Years of Solitude, a literary tour de force. Based on the fictional town of Macondo, the book chronicles the multi-generational Buendia family narrative. Marquez's ability to mix the fanciful with the everyday creates a world that is as surreal as it is familiar. Hence, this book is a must-read. While carrying you to a place where the remarkable is part of daily life, the book investigates themes of fate, love, and the cyclical character of history. This book will astound you with Marquez's skill at narrative and his capacity to make the magical feel real. Number 4. Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. Entering the realm of Russian literature, we find Fyodor Dostoevsky's psychological thriller Crime and Punishment, which closely explores the mind of its protagonist, Raskolnikov, examining issues of guilt, atonement, and the moral conundrums of human life. The book tracks his plunge into craziness following a murder. What, however, makes this book a must-read? Unmatched in his exploration of the human psyche, Dostoevsky presents a raw and uncompromising view of the results of our deeds. While keeping you on the tip of your seat, this book challenges you to face the darker sides of the human condition. Crime and Punishment is a trip into the soul, not only a narrative. Number 3. The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. Readers for decades, especially young people, have found resonance in J.D. Salinger's Catcher in the Rye. A moving examination of adolescence, identity, and the loss of innocence, the narrative of Holden Caulfield. A disillusioned young man prowling New York City. Why should you, though, read it? This book is a timeless classic because of Salinger's ability to catch the voice of a generation, his criticism of society's standards, and his investigation of what it means to grow up. Anyone who has ever felt lost or misinterpreted should read this book since it addresses anyone negotiating the complexity of life. Number 2. The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. Without J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings, no list of must-read books would be complete. A pillar of contemporary writing, this epic fantasy saga carries readers to the richly imagined Middle-earth. Still, what makes this trilogy absolutely necessary? The Lord of the Rings is a cultural phenomenon thanks to Tolkien's deft narrative, the building of an entire mythology, and the investigation of themes like friendship, courage, and the struggle between good and evil. It's an experience, one that has inspired innumerable other works of fiction and won over readers all around the globe. Not only a narrative, whether or not you enjoy fantasy, this series will remain with you forever. Number 1. War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. At last, at the top of our list, we have Leo Tolstoy's War and Peace, a book sometimes regarded as among the best works of literature ever produced. War and Peace is an epic study of history, philosophy, and the human experience spanning more than 1,000 pages set against the Napoleonic Wars. Still, why should one consider this a must-read? Tolstoy's ability to combine the lives of his characters with the more general forces of history produces a tapestry of great complexity. This book tells a gripping and emotionally compelling narrative while posing the big questions about life, death, love, and the nature of existence. War and Peace is a journey, one that will permanently alter you rather than a book. So there you have it. The 10 books you absolutely must read before you die. These stories aren't just entertaining, they're transformative, offering insights into the human experience and the world around us. Whether you're just beginning your reading journey or you're a seasoned bookworm, these are the books that deserve a place on your shelf. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on more amazing book recommendations. And if you've read any of these books, let us know in the comments which one left the biggest impact on you. Happy reading!